We're good.
The Chandler-Gilbert volleyball team is looking to make a stand. Currently outside the playoff picture, they welcome in the Mesa Thunderbirds in a key showdown at the Coyote Center right here on the Chandler-Gilbert Sports Network. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Pequeno alongside Matt McCurdy. Coach Jeff Nelson, the Coyotes, in a very unusual situation, riding a 3-game losing streak. And, Matt, this team with one injury after another. The squad coming off a 3-set home loss to Glendale. No Alex Johnson after suffering a concussion in the loss on the road at Pima. And unfortunately, no Alex Johnson again tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to see. We want to cheer so hard for the Coyotes, and having them here at the Coyote Center and lose in that 3-0 sweep is tough to watch. But the Coyotes played hard. They fought hard, and you can see they're trying to figure out the pieces and adapt. And Coach Nelson is doing a good job testing things out, trying things out, and trying to pull this team together in the midst of this crisis and these injuries that have kind of put them back a quick sec.
Johnson, the sophomore setter, coming off that concussion she suffered in the road loss at Pima, colliding with teammate Zaria Hakeem. She is going to go to the doctor on Friday to be reevaluated. Just talking to Alex a short time ago, that was her 5th concussion suffered, and
wow.
You can't say enough about player safety.
Mm-hmm.
Results, wins, losses, it really doesn't matter. It really comes down to playing the game the right way and ultimately to have these fine young athletes to walk off the course, the field, the diamond, no matter what arena, in one piece and be healthy.
Absolutely. I mean, their health is of most importance. They've got hopefully a long career playing the sport. It's not just about one game or one season. It's about how do we help them become the best players possible, and being injured is not that way. And so any precautions we need to take to help Alex get back out on the court is what they need to take, and they're making the right cause. I mean, she just barely got the concussion, maybe less than a week ago, and so they're taking the right steps. We want to see her out on the court, obviously, but where she's had 5 concussions, that's something you got to take seriously and really look after your health. So good call by the Coyotes. Hopefully she gets back out there real soon.
Talking to Coach Jeff Nelson, he talked about his team, what they have to do. They have to toughen up. They have to find the will to win with what they have, and it's been so difficult. I mean, they've had one injury after another. I mean, they lost in the start of the season Hallie Gibbons, who is going to be counted on to be one of their key pieces, and then along the way, Sydney Metcalf, in a loss at home, suffered a neck strain. Then Alex has the concussion. So this team has constantly been shuffling rotations, lineups, and it's so hard for them to build any kind of chemistry when they don't know who's going to be where at any given point. Coyotes 4-6 in conference, 8-8 overall, in 5th place. Mesa with a 2-game lead over the Coyotes for the 4th and final playoff spot. Mesa led by freshman Marley Avachuco with 155 kills, having a great year. Fellow freshman Issa Folau with 202 digs. Sophomore Madden Bigham with 266 assists. Now, the Coyotes won the September 9th matchup at Mesa in 5 sets. And if anything, Matt, gives them a lot of confidence coming into this one.
Yeah, no, it really should. You know what? This is a team they know they can beat. They've won against. Obviously, some adversity. They've had some tough losses. But you talk about talking to Coach Nelson and talking about that killer instinct and helping his girls really get in the game. You know, I think we're starting to see that. Sometimes these tough losses is what it takes to push your girls to the limit, just let them see where they can really go, and hopefully we see that explode here tonight against Mesa, a team that they know they can win against and they can beat.
Coyotes once again won that September 9th matchup in Mesa in 5 sets. Tally Koppel, 25 kills. The bigs played so well. Sydney Metcalf, 19 kills. Sage Salazar, 13 kills. Of course, Alex Johnson was big with 51 assists in that one. Once again, she is sidelined tonight. Brianna McClemens with 25 digs. So Tally Benson will be the big set situation, person, player on the court for the Coyotes. Of course, Tally Koppel leads the Coyotes with 214 kills, 178 digs. Johnson, 434 assists. Koppel ranks second in the league with almost 4 kills per set and 6 overall. McClemens ranked ninth in the league with almost 4 digs per set. Johnson ranked fourth in the league in assists per set with over 8 and ranked fourth overall with 434 assists. You got to figure those numbers would be even better if she played in last week's home match against Glendale. Starting lineup for the Coyotes, number 5, Sydney Metcalf, outside hitter. Number 8, Tally Benson, outside hitter, will be playing more of a setter position. And we'll take a short timeout. We'll refocus on the lineups after we hear the starting lineups and the national anthem. Always great to hear the national anthem now. The starting lineups for both teams, of course, is going to start with the visiting Mesa Thunderbirds, led by head coach Jordan Abelos Harrington, her assistants Braylon Johnson and Sarah Henson Wright. All starts with Madden Bingham, the setter who's having a fantastic year, the sophomore. Number 2, Isabel Wagner, middle blocker, OPP. Number 4, Issa Fulau, outside hitter. Number 5, Brinley Barris, middle blocker. Number 7, Marley Abachuco. We talked about what a force she is, dynamic on that pin choice. And number 12, Olani Motu, outside hitter, also a freshman from Poston Butte High School in Florence. So that is your Mesa squad, and of course they are decked out in their road attire. Their tops, a little bit of a pink, a little bit of black shorts, maybe cancer awareness tonight. You never know if that could be the home colors. And for the Coyotes, of course, they're decked out in the white and the teal. And now you hear the music that starts their intro. Number 5, Sydney Metcalf, outside hitter from Queen Creek High School. Number 8, Talia Benson, who's going to play more of that setter role, Matt, as we talked about without Alex Johnson being here. From Williamsfield High School, Brianna McClemens, libero from Williamsfield. Number 10, Marissa Morehouse from Torrington High School in Torrington, Wyoming. Number 12, Tally Koppel. And when it's all said and done, Matt, could be the player of the year in the conference. And number 13, Shelby St. Calais from Queen Creek American Leadership Academy, a middle hitter. And, of course, Coyotes led by sensational head coach Jeff Nelson, Andrew Yamashiro, as well as a variety of assistants that help out with the team, Molly Shahan West and Andrew Gonzalez. So for the Coyotes, they haven't played since last week, since losing to Glendale. And along the way of being at this point, getting back on the court, and you can see Alex Johnson at the very tail end, maybe the bottom of your screen, who will not play tonight. This is a point in the season, Matt, where everyone has injuries. Everyone goes through adversity. And it's not just sports, it's life. Every day we have to put our big boy pants on and our big girl pants on and fight through whatever's going on and find answers. We have to find results, because if you don't find results, well, you're not going to be in that winner's circle at the end of the day. And right now for the Coyotes, this is kind of you hate to say this, but time's winding down in their season. They got to have it tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, this is the moment. They need to step up to the plate, find their rhythm, find their groove, and, really play hard. I think we saw in the game against Glendale, as they watched the score, it was 25-12, then 25-20, and then the last game at 25-21. So they started to figure things out, but it was a slow build. Tonight they got to come out strong, swing hard. We saw components come together, leaders step out in that kind of moment of crisis. I hope they come out strong. Those leaders step to the plate tonight on the home court, and they play that way throughout the whole game.
Mesa last time out, a 3-set victory over Phoenix College on Friday. Isabel Wagner and Issa Fula with 9 kills. Brianna Anderson, 18 digs, and Marley Avachuco with 4 aces. Your referees tonight, Jim Fleiker, as well as Gigi Brito. Your line judges, Brian Budd, as well as Quincy Fleming. And we are getting ready to go as all of a sudden the rock and roll theme from Old School playing over the Coyotes gym. And of course, when I think of Old School, there are so many great quotes you can throw out. Will Ferrell, Frank the Tank, always bringing the A game. Division II national rankings, and this region well represented. Scottsdale at number 9. Glendale, number 20. Pima Community College at 25. And of course, Mesa and Chandler-Gilbert. And Mesa could easily be receiving votes, and Chandler-Gilbert with the winner too could easily be in that mix. And we are getting ready to knock this one, and Mesa won the coin toss, so they will serve it up. And here we go from the Coyote Center. On serve, Maddie Bingham. Ripped across, Metcalf in the back row. Benson sets it up for Koppel, and Koppel cross court, and Koppel fires the winner. Brinley Barris cannot handle, and a really good start, and I think it's imperative, Matt, for the Coyotes to really string together some quick points, build some confidence early, and take that first set.
Yeah, that's really what they needed right there. Come out big, come out strong, play hard off the net, and Tally Koppel delivering on that first play.
Back row attack by Mesa. Morehouse is there. They go right back to Koppel. Koppel keeps it alive. Morehouse in the back row hustling. The Clemens will just knock it over. Mesa goes on the attack. Middle attack. Good read by Morehouse in the back row. Benson, Koppel, and Koppel rips it. And a good hustling effort by Mesa, but not good enough. And that was just good high-level volleyball on both sides. And Matt, in that key point, going back and forth the exchange, both back rows really anticipating the receiving end very well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what they're going to need tonight is everybody communicating, talking. We didn't see as much of that in the last game as they tried to piece things together. And so hopefully they really are cohesive tonight and talk.
Koppel really a fixture of the Coyotes' attack early and often in this one, and rightfully so. One of the best hitters in the conference, and that in the middle, Hakeem looking for that soft spot in the court. That's blasted. Great effort by Morehouse. And Clemens tries to keep it alive, and they just ran out of wall space. If the gym was probably about maybe another 15 feet in length, they would have had an opportunity. So yeah. Mesa gets on the board, and now they will go unserved.
Really admiring the hustle from the Coyotes early, though. You know, the ball didn't go in their favor on that last play, but all girls hustling to get there.
And that's a great combo block. Brinley Barris in the middle. Brinley from Winslow High School. Large and in charge, and we're nodded at too. Avachuco on serve, and we talk about how dynamic Avachuco is as an outside hitter. Complete game. Benson was trying to get that IQ touch across for the point. Koppel, no hesitation, just bringing the boom and then some. A 3-2 Chandler-Gilbert lead.
I think it's a really smart play for the Coyotes early. Bringing Tally Koppel, arguably their best outside hitter, early, getting it to her a lot, letting her really warm up and kind of get into the groove early.
Benson right into the back row to Avachuco, and right in the middle with authority, Brinley Barris. And Barris, a tall body, providing some big-time lumber in the middle. Entered this match with 84 kills. Barris, a sophomore, even at 3. And Mesa with the kind of like the off orange, off pink kind of look. It's like a, let's call it a pretty salmon.
Pretty salmon, yeah.
I like that. Morehouse in the back row. McClemens will work it. Metcalf will just go across court. And the violation goes against the Coyotes, so it's now 4-3 Mesa. Emma Heslip on the serve. Great serve, almost hit the twine. Coyotes do keep it alive. Avachuco in the back row. Set up nicely by Mesa. Anticipated well by the Coyotes. Koppel on the other side. Avachuco hustling. And could not be saved off the net. And Tally Koppel really putting her imprint on this first set early and often. Early kills and leading the Coyotes to a 4-4 tie early in this first set. Good crowd on hand, of course. Coyotes bringing the home crowd, and Mesa short John away just above the 60. And that is worked across by Isa Fulo, product of Castile High. She's a former Colt. A 5-4 Mesa lead. Mesa led by head coach Jordan Abelos Harrington. Talk about her in a second. And a good serve on the outside. Ripped across by Adrian Tafoya, and Sage Salazar came up empty. It's a 6-4 Mesa lead here in the first set. Mesa coming off a win against Phoenix College. Benson, Salazar off the twine, and Mesa, good hustling effort as Avachuco gets it over. McClemens, right side, Metcalf. And a miscommunication, and Metcalf, some good placement. So Jordan Abelos Harrington in her first year, and what she did with the beach volleyball team, took the squad all the way to the NJCAA Volleyball National Championship, where they captured the 6th place finish. So all that in 1 year. And so she's building something here. And she basically got a little bit of the assurance from the powers that be at Mesa to give her time to turn the program around. And look, you can't change a program around overnight. I mean, look, the Rick Pitino's at Kentucky's of the world. I mean, the Steve Spurs at the University of Florida, and we're talking, of course, football and basketball. They're few and far apart. And what Coach Abelos Harrington has done to turn Mesa around is really dynamic, and she says her team is just believing in the process. And she has only 5 sophomores. The rest are freshmen. They're playing at a very high level. And I asked her essentially her thought process of being at this point, and she's just very thankful. And just like Chandler-Gilbert, every team, Matt, in this conference is battling through injuries. It's such a physical grind of playing 3 matches a week. Mm-hmm. And the coaches, everyone I've talked to, from Coach Nelson to Coach Struck, everyone prefers to play that Wednesday, Friday schedule and just be done. Loosen things up a little bit. That extra match has had that wear and tear, and they've battled their own set of injuries. So here they are, and when it's all said and done, Coach Harrington gets her team in the postseason. She'll have an opportunity. Her name will, no question, garner some Coach of the Year award nominations.
Absolutely.
So a 7-6 Coyotes lead as Mesa comes off the timeout. Hakeem in that back row and receiving error on that back end. A little miscommunication between Abachuco and Brianna Anderson. Brianna from Skyline High School was coached by Coach Harrington over at Skyline when she was the high school coach. And actually, to go even further, Coach Harrington played her high school ball at Skyline as that one was out, and Anderson was a ball girl there back in the day. So a tremendous connection, and of course, Coach Harrington played with Brianna's sister at Skyline. So big time connection there, and that's some good effort by the Coyotes keeping that alive. A 9-6 lead, and a good knock by Kendall Arnett, ending a little run.
Coyotes have done a really good job in these last few plays as Mesa starts to get a little bit of a lead, staying composed, locking back in, and regaining the ground. So a lot of improvement from the last game we watched.
And I think the big thing, Matt, is what we've seen. We know with the Coyotes, the talent's there. It's really in the course of any matches is how they handle adversity.
Right.
Do they rise to the occasion, or do they lose their composure and lose the will to fight? And now this one is even at 9, and they have to have that ability here tonight to rise above and battle. And of course, it's not easy. You lose a key player to start the season, and Hallie Gibbons, and then Alex Johnson, who you think is going to be there all year. Well, she's battling a concussion, but there's still a lot of great players on this team, and collectively they've got to find answers. Koppel in the back row, Benson, Salazar, and Salazar fires up some heat. A 10-9 Chandler-Gilbert lead.
And just like you're talking about, Joe, right there, that last play I think is a prime example of fighting through the adversity. Some of those balls would have been dropped in the last game we watched, just as they were trying to piece together, but you can see they're really playing strong. Even when it's coming at them quick, they're getting their hands up, they're staying in the game, actively playing.
Navachuco rips one in the back row that Koppel anticipated. Salazar and McClemens with a good effort. But the middles of Mesa take the point. We're knotted at 10. And a good, strong first set. I mean, in that match last week against Glendale, it was just kind of discouraging. Things just got away from the Coyotes so quickly that, 2 sets were gone instantly. This, a little bit of a different story.
Absolutely.
Coyotes are in this one. They are fighting, and they're essentially, and they know this, as that one is blasted by Brindley Barris. Coyotes know what's at stake. You can't fall 3 games behind the 4th place team with only a handful of games left and think that you're going to be in the postseason. Now, on the other extreme of this league is so tough, and we'll talk about the league standings after this point because it's so top-heavy, and good effort by St. Calais getting that over. Mesa working that right side. They try to bump it over, and Salazar had the answer. And all Mesa can do is get it across.
Good move.
Excellent right there in the middle. Tally Benson comes through it yet again, but when you look at the standings, Scottsdale, Glendale, Pima, all tied at 7-2. Mesa 6-4, Chandler-Gilbert 4-6. And we talk about the schedule and what it means for the Coyotes to take this one. After tonight, there's only 7 matches left. So it's imperative that they win this to give themselves an opportunity, and then along the way, take care of matches that they should win. After tonight, they go to Mesa next Wednesday. So another week of Alex Johnson potentially getting healthy. And then they have Phoenix College right after. And Phoenix College, much improved. Nothing's a gimme, right? You can't take any team for granted, but on paper, that's a match. If the Coyotes go in healthy, focused, and ready, they should win their next 2 matches. And then along the way, they're scoreboard watching to see how the rest of the league's unfolding.
Absolutely.
And talk about great placement. Adrian Tafoya just looked at the squared other side and found that right corner to drop one in. 13-12. A great first set from the campus of Chandler-Gilbert right here on the Coyote Sports Network. Matt McCurdy, Joe Pequeno, of course, Russ Luce, the tremendous AD, all the tremendous administrators that allow us the opportunity to broadcast the great athletes here at Chandler-Gilbert, but not just Chandler-Gilbert. Of course, all the great athletes in this tremendous conference and this region. And when we talk about this region, look, great athletes in Arizona, it's like growing oranges in Florida. It's on every other street. It's on every other corner. The fastest growing state, and everyone wants to come to Arizona because of the great weather, the great living. The cost of living is fantastic. The opportunities here, and that being said, when you have all these families moving in, this area of Maricopa, so many great athletes are coming out, and the Arizona Community College Athletic Conference is blessed with so many great athletes from top to bottom, not just in this region, but of course in the other side of the state as well.
Exactly. And I mean, look, when you look at the roster, most of these athletes are from local Arizona. They're not coming from other places. We've got some great outside the country students as well, and a few from outside, but you know, you look at the roster, it's a lot of Arizona, so great programs across the valley.
14-13 with Abachuco on serve. Abachuco read well. Koppel splits the trees, and it's a point for Chandler-Gilbert, now up 15-13. And this is what you want to see from the Coyotes. Just battle. Just battle. Don't lose the focus. Don't let 3 points run off against you all of a sudden turn into a downslide and you drop a first set 25-14. They're battling. They're in this. They're focused, and they understand. Limited bodies. That means everyone has to provide a little more effort and energy and give that much more. And so far, they're answering the bell. 15-14, they lead. More than halfway through the first set. On serve for Mesa, Emma Heslett. Benson setting it up. Hakeem was looking for the cross-court kill. Knocked across. Clemens reads it well. Metcalf shoots it. Abachuco's there in the back row. Abachuco's playing a great first set, by the way. And Clemens, good read. Right side, Koppel goes cross court. And Koppel, and you love to see that from Tally. You know, last year, Matt, that would have been a situation where she's just going to try to pound against 2 pins right in front of her and would not read the blocking scheme accordingly. That time she saw and decided a little soft touch across the way and dropped it in for the point.
Yeah.
16-14, Coyotes lead on serve.
Yeah, the thing I'm loving tonight is just the IQ that the Coyotes are playing. They're looking at the court, they're reading. You know, Callie Benson had that great little dump over the top just a few plays back. And even though she's filling in for Alex Johnson and kind of adjusting this new position, they're really all doing a great job reading the court and playing smart.
Tally Koppel, the pink shoes are out. Said they were worn down, had to get a new set. Abachuco, this is saved in the back row. Coyotes preparing for the bump across. Benson, Metcalf going across the way. And the Coyotes now with some breathing room, up 18-14. And Coach Harrington has to call a timeout. And this Coyotes team playing without their star setter, who's one of the best in the conference. Honorable mention a year ago. They've risen to the occasion and looking strong and mentally a little more focused. And what I like, Matt, is that we're not seeing like last week. It is really all about knowing who's going to be what, where at all given times. We're not seeing those tremendous little dink shots dropping, like the middle blocker would just kind of those no-look little drop shots right in the middle of the court. The Coyotes are anticipating better. Everyone's moving quicker. Everyone's understanding where they have to be on the floor, and right now you can see their symmetry on the court and their cohesion, and it's led to a 4-point lead with an opportunity to snare the next 7 points and win the first set.
Yeah, no, to your point, just visually watching, they seem to be talking more. There's a lot more communication. They're talking and yelling to each other who's going to get the ball next. And I love that swing from Sydney Metcalf. I think that's huge, right? Sage Salazar has gone a couple great swings already. Callie Koppel, enough said, she's already come out great and big. And Sydney Metcalf with that huge swing, I think they've got their outside hitters really going full strength tonight.
And you look at the Coyotes' schedule: 8-8, 4-6 in conference. But you look at all their conference losses. And Matt, you called the game against Scottsdale. The match, they had the potential to win that in the fourth set and let it slip away, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at the loss at Glendale, same situation. They were up in the fourth set, could not put it away. Central Arizona, when they hosted Central Arizona here, I just felt collectively they came out a little flat.
Yeah.
They took the Central Arizona for granted, and Central Arizona just took it to them.
Mm-hmm.
The Pima loss here, a situation where it was a match that the Coyotes had in hand and ended up losing. They had the Aztecs down at a certain point in the match and just didn't put it away. So you look at the overall 8-8 record, and of course 4-6 in conference, by no means where they should be. It is what it is, but it's really a couple turning points as Sage Salazar blasts that one for the winner. It's really a couple turning points in points and just being a little bit more on the same page and a little bit more determined to close out a match.
Yeah.
And that 8-8 record and that 4-6 conference record all of a sudden looks more like 12-4 and more like a 6-4 conference record, or maybe even a 7-3 conference record,
right,
instead of what it is right now.
Well, you make a good point. I mean, we talk about how competitive this conference alone is, and there really is no room to not be ruthless and really go for the kill when you've got it, when you've got the lead. And so, looking back at the last Mesa game, right, they won the first set, they won the second set, then they lost the second or the third and the fourth, and then they won it by a couple points in the fifth. So the hope tonight, win this first game and just keep winning. Don't let Mesa get their energy back, take the lead, and draw it to a long match. Just go in there and take the win.
I think what you're seeing right now is tremendous. Hakeem just firing up a serve right through the hands of Avachuco, and another good serve that Mesa sets up on their back row, and a good hard spike in the center of the court by Kendall Arnett. But right before that serve, we saw Tally Koppel and Tally Benson just embrace and smile and share a moment of levity on the court. And I think it's kind of refreshing to see this team that has had to battle so much, not just the injuries, but just their own disappointments and self-induced disappointments on the court, to enjoy a moment of success and breathe and realize, look, the talent's there. Just got to push through it a little bit. We've got to find and grind a little bit more.
Right.
22-17. Koppel's there. Benson. Salazar right side. Salazar kept alive by Mesa. Good hustling effort in that back row. Benson. Right side attack by Metcalf. Will rip it across. Kept alive by Mesa in the back row. McClemens reads it well. Benson. Salazar will fire it up. This one will get across the net, and Salazar and Mesa still keeping it alive. Benson. Koppel will just push it over. Now Mesa will set it up offensively. Avachuco high and hard on that left side. And talk about a battle of wills on both sides.
Yeah, this is really the critical point in this first set. The Coyotes have the lead. They're playing well. Mesa's being determined. They want to win as well. So this is where we'll see if they can really lock in. That'll be a great point for the Coyotes right there, an easy point.
And that is a tremendous blow as Issa Fulau with a service error. And Metcalf can give the Coyotes the first set victory if she can secure 2 points. And she gives it right back. So nothing comes easy for the Coyotes. Now it's a 4-point advantage, 23-19. On serve for Mesa, Brianna Anderson from Skyline High School, as we mentioned, was a ball girl for Coach Harrington back in the day when she was a player at Skyline. Salazar rips a tremendous bomb, and that is bumped over by the back row by Mesa. Hustling effort, they're not giving up. And Mesa in the middle, bringing the big bodies. And once again, Brinley Barris with some force and some attitude. And Jeff Nelson has to call a timeout.
And how about that hustle from number 7, Marley Avachuco? I mean, she's on the far side of the court, outside here in front of the net, running all the way to the far corner, almost wiping out Brian Budd in the process of diving for that ball. I mean, that's just great effort from Mesa.
And the big thing about this year's conference tournament, Matt, is you just have to be one of the four. And look, I don't care about the preseason rankings. I don't care who's ranked. This tournament will be so top heavy, and now we can kind of talk about the standings. Okay, you got Scottsdale, Glendale, and Pima all at 7-2. Mesa is at 6-4. Chandler-Gilbert is at 4-6.
Right.
So it really is. There's not a huge talent disparity between any of these four teams, right? It really depends on who that tournament day has their game face on, who's more on point collectively as a team, and who has the will to battle and not wilter when the points get bigger and the separations get bigger. And that's why for Mesa, they're not going down quietly in this first set because they know they can't give the Coyotes a room to breathe in the standings. They take a 3-game lead, all of a sudden, they're feeling really good about securing that 4th spot. Mesa setting up that outside attack. Avachuco with the winner. And Koppel couldn't handle it in the back row. But Koppel gets her teammates collectively together, talks them through it, says, look, it's going to be okay. Let's just play on. Anderson on a nice little service run. Now 23-21. Anderson works that right side. Salazar fires it up, and Salazar with the winner. And now it's set point for the Coyotes. Marissa Morehouse coming in to serve.
And that was a much-needed swing for the Coyotes. I mean, kind of getting a little tight, nervous with the points there, and Sage Salazar coming in and hammering it home for them.
Marissa with 14 aces on the year. Metcalf, a little bump across.
Great play.
Good hustling effort by Mesa. Avachuco. McClemens. Koppel. Mesa in the middle. Avachuco, the right side attack. And Avachuco finds the spot. 24-22. So Mesa goes back on serve now. So critical for the Thunderbirds. You can win it on serve, but it's critical you get the ball over the twine on serve as well. So no easy situation for Maddie Bingham, the sophomore. She rips it across, almost rips the ace. Koppel blocked at the net. And once again, providing the height, Brinley Barris, sophomore 6'1", and when she jumps, she's getting up to about 7 feet. And another timeout as Mesa pulls within one, 24-23. So that elusive 25th point for the Coyotes seems so hard to come by. It's like going in the desert and searching for a can of water. And now they have a thirst for the victory. The big question is, can they pull it out and hold off a Mesa team that's found their legs in life in the last remainder of this first set?
Absolutely. And that front row for Mesa really has brought the energy and the life back into their team, where they were looking like they were going to lose out on that first set. You know, number 2, Isabel Wagner, number 10, Kylie Pugh, and then obviously Marley Avachuco just hustling, putting away the kills and those dominant blocks right there at the end. They've just done a great job bringing the life to their team, and you can feel the energy.
And we talk about Avachuco, team high 155 kills. Bulau, 119. Isabel Wagner with 115. A strong unit. And Maddie Bingham plays a big factor on serve. Metcalf is there. Right side attack. Koppel, back row. Great effort by Mesa on the back row. Morehouse, right side attack.
Ooh, good spot.
Delays. Rips a hard shot, kept alive by Mesa. Right now the Thunderbirds are finding answers in impossible ways, but that's going to do it. Koppel rips and destroys.
The first set is going to propel them, hopefully, in these next few matches to go. And I like that last play. You know, they've been saying to Callie Koppel quite a few times in a row, send it over to Shelby St. Glace to switch it up, throw Mesa off their feet, and then they kicked it back to Koppel, and she got that final point for him. So smart play. Kudos to Coach Nelson for calling the timeout, getting them set, and going, you know, we're gonna take the win here in the first set. and lead ourselves into success for the rest of the game.
Coyotes in the first intermission, savoring the 25-23 first set victory. We'll take a short timeout. More to come from the Coyote Center. Coyotes and the Thunderbirds. Set 2, just minutes away. And we welcome you back to the Coyote Center. Coyotes with a first set victory over Mesa, 25-23. Of course, a big match for the Coyotes, losing 3 in a row, playing without their star setter Alex Johnson for a second consecutive match after she suffered a concussion in the road loss at Pima. But the Coyotes showing some resiliency. Matt, some toughness, and standing loud and proud after the first set on home court.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, you've mentioned it multiple times. This is really where they've got to lock in and start to put wins on the board so they can make it into the next round. This isn't a talent disparity thing between these two teams. They both got great talent, and that last game was just pure will. And so glad they pulled it out. We're excited to see what comes next.
Yeah, some standouts, of course, for the Coyotes in that first set. Koppel was tremendous. Sage Salazar on the outside for Mesa. Well, you can't say enough about Brinley Barris in the middle. She stands 6'1", and most of the time she's above the net. When she's lifting off, she's about 7 feet and then some. Avachuko was great. And, of course, Maddie Bingham and Issa Fulau were fantastic as well. A very close set as we embark on the second set. And Marissa Morehouse will get it going on the court for the Coyotes. St. Calais, as well as Koppel, McClemens, Taylor Totman, as well as Tally Benson in the middle. Back row attack, and just kind of how the first set started. Coyotes get the point, the beneficiaries on a back row attack error by Mesa. Morehouse, a sophomore, playing so much more confident in her second season. She said that first year she really had to learn coming from a small town in Wyoming and coming to Arizona where the volleyball is so rich. Of course, as we've discussed, club scene so big in Arizona. And of course, Jeff Nelson, his list of accomplishments on the D1 circuit. She feels so blessed to have learned from the great coaches here. And how about that? And that is probably the first time in this match that Brinley Barris has been denied in the middle.
Yeah.
And give credit to St. Calais and Benson in the middle because Barris has owned that portion of the court.
Yeah, that's really the Coyote wall we want to see right there. When the ball comes down, they got big, they played big, and they made the stop.
And Tim Fikert had to wait to see exactly where the ball dropped to make that call. So even Steven at 2 apiece. On serve for Mesa. Emma Heslett. Topman's there. And that was just a easy read for Olani Motu. And Topman, in no shape or form, wanted to dig it out and just put it right point blank on top of the net. But that was the case right there. A 3-2 Mesa lead. And once again, kind of the same situation. And how about Akeem? The hustling move to the net. Paramount at that point. But Clemens is there with the read. Benson, left side attack. Koppel. Good hustling effort by Morehouse yet again. Right side attack. Blocked at the net. Benson. Hakeem. Now both sides just showing the will and toughness, and you gotta love it.
Good spot.
And the miss hit at the net by Benson. And Jeff Nelson coming out and having a quick conversation. Talking to Tally Koppel after that point. Benson setting up Koppel. Good read by Benson. There again. Koppel shoots that left side, and she'll set it up. She'll go back to Koppel. And Koppel gets the point as it's knocked out of bounds. So right now we're really seeing on both sides just a level play. I mean, you can tell Mesa didn't get the result they were looking for. Maybe came in a little flat-footed in that first set. But they really picked it up down the stretch. And now I think you're seeing Mesa really starting to pick up their game. And every point going forward, it seems like it's going to be a battle of attrition going forward.
Yeah, I mean, and that, kudos to their coaches. That's really what makes a good coach is when you lose the first match, get your girls amped up and ready to go play again and shake off the first one, come in even stronger. And that's what they're doing. They've played some great defense. That front line has been dominant. And now the Coyotes got to play smart, right? They've got great hustle across the board, but this is going to come down to who's playing the smarter game.
A little battle at the net, and Mesa once again wins that with some toughness. Close range. Alani Motu from Poston Butte High School. And Mesa has doubled up the Coyotes 6-3. Koppel, right side. How about Mesa with that hustling effort in the back row? And they'll shoot that long. 6-4 as Salazar checks in, Morehouse checks out. Koppel on serve. And Tally has done just about everything this year. 6 aces, of course, leads the team in kills and digs. In the conference running for player of the year. But of course, for her, it's all about winning. Individual success. Don't matter if your team is not in the postseason and you don't get a chance to shine when the lights get bigger and the matches become more important.
Yeah, Tally Koppel, a talented player. If she keeps up what she's doing, I think she's got a great chance going and getting scouted elsewhere.
Coyotes get the point. Salazar was there. A 7-5 Mesa advantage as Akeem on serve. So glad he can join us right here on the Chandler-Gilbert Sports Network from the Coyote Center, one of the elite centers in all the community colleges throughout Arizona. If you go up to the second floor here, as Mesa gets the point, Avachuco with the rip. You go on the second floor, it's like a big R&R lounge for the athletes. There's couches, there's sitting areas, there's tables. Everything is first class, of course. The court is beautiful, brand new, and just a tremendous facility. The weight room is just a short ways away, walking distance. The basketball offices are very close. And Mesa takes another point as Avachuco goes the other way. And now it's a 9-5 Mesa advantage. And Chandler-Gilbert will call a timeout. So as we allude to, Matt, that first set, Coyotes jumped out to that 7-point lead, 22-15. Mesa, tremendous surge to make it close. Coyotes pulled out the 2-point first set victory. Now it's Mesa all of a sudden taking their game to a different level. And it starts with Avachuco.
Yeah, no, she's been playing powerful and strong. And that whole team, Mesa, you can feel the energy. They're amped up, they're ready to play, they're playing dominant, and that's pretty obvious on the court. But these two teams have been going head-to-head. Intensity's real, and both teams have it. Now it comes down to playing smart. These last few plays, Coyotes just not quite communicating. Missed a few easy things here and there, and against Mesa, you just can't mess up in that type of way.
And when we talk about this team, and we've seen so many frontline efforts that have been fantastic, and in that back row, Brianna Anderson leads the team with 382 digs.
Wow.
She's been awesome. I mean, she has literally saved probably about 4 or 5, maybe up to 7 points in that back row with her hustle on that back end.
Yeah.
And she has been tremendous, and of course, only a freshman.
Wow.
And Coach Harrington talked about
good spot.
Anderson, saying she went a little bit underneath the radar because of her size, a little bit of a smaller player, but the ball skills are off the charts.
Yeah.
She reads well, fearless, and can put the ball back easily. She can knock a BB back the other way.
Right.
Great hands. 9-6 Mesa lead. Avachuco blocked. Front line by Glaze and Benson stepping up. This time it's McClemens in the back row. St. Galais right in the middle. Good read by Mesa. Avachuco. Copple's there. Mesa in the middle.
Great hand.
Barris. Violation goes against Chandler-Gilbert. Now 10-6 Mesa. Metcalf checking out. Salazar back in. Topman on the back row. Mesa all of a sudden a little pep in their step. And we talked about the pink jerseys for Mesa tonight. Coach Harrington is wearing a pink golf shirt with a cancer awareness logo on it. So bless her and her team for thinking about all those out there, all those young women and young ladies, and of course men as well, battling cancer and fighting that daily battle in their lives on any given day. So Chandler-Gilbert gets the point as the serve goes long. Marissa Morehouse will serve it up.
The nice part here, too, is, you know what? They're only down 3. This isn't a large gap. They haven't given up. They're still playing strong and playing hard. So now it's just time to close it up just like that, play big, get up on the net, and start putting points on the board.
And we've really seen Benson and St. Galais really work together in tandem.
Mm-hmm.
And Coyotes on the front line, a little undersized, but, I mean, their personnel is stepping up, and it's now 10-8.
Yeah. And I've really been impressed by Tally Benson. You know, she's been put in a tough spot, having to change things up, taking on that key position where Alex isn't able to be on the court. That's a lot of pressure, but she's managed it well. She's given her team some great looks, and she continues to do so.
And Benson wins another point at the net. And now it's a 1-point Coyotes deficit. Marissa Morehouse, sophomore. Young lady with such a great
serve.
Attitude. Very sweet young lady. Learned so much about the game last year, now an integral part of this team. And how about Morehouse in that upper right quadrant of the court and knocks it in. 11-9. Morehouse, a freshman who played right down the road, a product of Chandler High, right off Arizona Avenue, just a little north of Chandler Boulevard. And if you ever looking for good pizza in the Chandler area, Shane's on 87, quality. As the Coyotes get the point, they always have deals on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You can get a large or extra large for a good price. Service is great. And of course, why would you not want to support your local pizzeria? Because look, you can always go to Domino's or Papa, but like, you know what? I don't like going to this. I don't want that carbon copy, you know, kind of feel like you just ate a frozen pizza, right? I want the real deal. You go to Shane's on 87, you get the real deal.
A little local plug right there.
So there is my beverage and eating tip of the week right there. A 12-10 Mesa advantage. Jeff Nelson having a conversation with the floor ref, Gigi Prito. And how about that serve that just drops in? And those are always so painful. Emma Heslip from Blue Ridge High School. Blue Ridge up in the White Mountains, about 3 hours away. And the weather in the White Mountains is very interesting. As Heslip serves up the service error, they have a really change of seasons up there. It does get cold, and the wind. I got to tell you, Matt, any given day you go up there, you're going to get strong winds.
Really?
And they get a lot of gusty winds on a regular basis there. Reason why I know this is because I do weather updates for a radio station.
Oh, there you go.
Petrocom Radio. My good friend Floyd Simmons, who is the voice of that station, gave me the opportunity. So I read about the weather all the time in the White Mountains. But they have a nice change of season. Like right now, while we're still blistering with heat, they're getting 80s and like 50 degrees at night.
Wow.
And Akeem is firing up the heat in the middle. And it's a 13-12 Coyotes deficit. So this one, any team, any given point, this one could go right down to the wire, and the Coyotes have responded. You felt like that was slipping away, 10-6. Jeff Nelson calls a timeout. And Jeff Nelson coming over to the scorer's table, and now they've readjusted the score. Coyotes down 13-12, and sometimes it takes a little bit sage advice from the coach to kind of recalibrate the team, and that timeout he called a short time ago, it's led to a nice run, and Coyotes right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great plays across the board. I mean, that last play alone, Libero McClemens diving out, saving it. So when the Coyotes are playing in tune and working together, I mean, you start to see real results, and it's big for them.
Of course, Saturday night on campus, Coyotes soccer team, men, taking on South Mountain. They're looking for their first victory of the year. And for Hector Brasino and the men's team, haven't won a game this year and worked in that middle. And you could feel the fire from Mesa on that point and serving it up with authority. Alani Motu. Now 14-12, but no team has gotten better in the region like the Coyotes have. Now, of course, we judge life by wins and losses. We judge the day by statistics, whether the stock market or the weather report or you're scoring a test. But the Coyotes have been in every single match this season, and they've battled. They've made every team work hard. They took ranked Phoenix College, made them work for a 3-1 victory here. And they pushed Pima. They led Pima in the second half 2-0 before Pima blew it open with goals in the second half. So that's a team going in the right direction. And Hector Brasino and the coaching staff, Bryce Johnson, the recruiting coordinator, they have a lot to be proud of. Now, ultimately, next year, they're going to have to try to win a battle or two here because you can only take moral victories for so long. Eventually, the proof has got to be able to snare a victory and show recruits that everything you're doing is paying off. And Salazar just blasting one, and Avachuco hustling in that back row. Capo's there. Benson. Salazar. Left side, and Sage Salazar brings an attitude, a toughness, and a fearlessness that resonates for the team as she powers home the point from Highland High School, former Highland Hawk. And the Coyotes on top 15-14.
Yeah, when Sage really gets a good ball, she knows how to hammer it home. We've seen that every single game. And I'll tell you what, Joe, I would not want to be on the receiving end of a ball from Sage Salazar.
So the Coyotes on the back row attacked by Koppel. Right side, Avachuco, little bump over. Good read by Benson. McClemens will set up Metcalf. McClemens. They go back to Salazar. Salazar, good read by Mesa's back row. Avachuco. And Avachuco will blast one up.
Navachuko's just doing a fantastic job reading the court. She's done a great job chasing balls, bringing them back, giving their team a second chance. But then when she goes up to swing, sometimes she dumps it short, and right there saw a hole and went for it.
Coach Nelson having a conversation with Sage Salazar. Could be about reading and, of course, positioning on the court. Right now, the scoreboard trying to figure everything out. And they have it at 16 all, or 16-15 in favor of Mesa. So here we go. Issa Fulau on serve. Even at 16. Can't stress enough, service errors in a match like this where everything's so close and you just come up a key point. You've exerted so much energy and then you go up and you can't get the serve across and give your team an opportunity to capitalize. It can be demoralizing at points, as Hakeem with the nice serve. Avachuko blocked, and that looks like that's going to be a net violation against Mesa, and that was the call. 17-16. Hakeem in the back row. Zaria has turned into a great server, providing those deep serves. That time, Kendall Arnett, former Gilbert Tiger, with a point-blank bang to knot this one at 17.
And Mesa consistently, we've seen tonight, strong middle. I mean, they really can put it away in the middle.
Metcalf try to bang one from the outside. Salazar. Whew. And Sage, I got to tell you, there is no lack of thunder when she rips it.
Yeah.
I mean, she is as good as any hitter in this conference with power. Avachuko finds that right side. And you can see the contingent of Mesa fans standing up after that point. 18-17, Mesa on top. A key second set. Coyotes, if somehow they can pull out a two-set advantage on home court, you know they're feeling good. Salazar just had to push it across. Right side, Avachuko blocked and won by Metcalf and St. Galais, even at 18.
And great hands for Metcalf. I mean, she's had a few of those blocks tonight where they bounced off and given the Mesa team the point coming off her hands, but that was just great blockage overall.
Good hustle by the Coyotes as McClemens gets it over. Avachuko, they're feeding her, and Benson says, bring it on, I'm feeling strong. 19-18.
And I love to see the energy from the Coyotes. You know, sometimes we don't see that as often as them cheering each other on and really bring that energy. Mesa has been screaming, yelling the whole way through, but I love this energy from the Coyotes.
And we talked about the service errors and how crippling they can be, and now the Coyotes will try to regroup as Metcalf checks out, Taylor Topman checks in. 19 all. And the basketball schedules have been released. They are now online for Chandler-Gilbert. In between sets, we'll dial those up, kind of talk about the squads. Topman, Salazar on just a miscommunication mishit as Jeff Nelson comes out. 20-19. And those can be devastating in the course of a match, especially so late in this one.
Absolutely. You know, those were two easy points that they really needed and weren't worth giving up.
Salazar probably didn't have the best look at it, but got it across. Now she'll have a little bump across and read well by Bingham. Avachuko. And the Coyotes on the block knock it out of bounds, and 21-19, Mesa with the advantage. So we are winding down this second set, and Mesa is starting to flex just a tad to grab the lead.
Well, we're seeing just a kind of a repeat of the first set, right? Avachuco in that corner. Tight game on the line. Last few points here on the board. Really bringing the thunder, bringing the energy to her team, hammering away some great points and forcing the Couts into a couple timeouts to regather, refocus. So let's hope it plays out just like last time and Couts can pull ahead and take the win in the second match.
So Cowdy's actually a little exhibition basketball coming up next week on Wednesday. The OTE club basketball team at 6:30 on the 16th. They got Benue Mesa, JV. And those are just a couple of the men's games to start the season. They really get full force as they really hit the November schedule. That's when the season truly gets on. The early action is the team just trying to find itself early. We'll check in on the women in just a second. Salazar. Avachuco with a great save. Back row attack. Salazar comes up. St. Galais battle at the net. Salazar.
Good swing.
Good read on the back row by Mesa. Avachuco. And how about the read? A little cross-court love by Benson. 21-20.
And that really was just some top-notch reflexes from the Coyotes. Sage Salazar with the dive, but then Benson, midair, where I think we thought maybe it was just going to go in the net, finds her mark and throws it down hard.
Morehouse, good serve across. Can't stress enough how imperative that is. Avachuco slices and dices. 22-20.
And right now, like you're saying, Joe, it really is about don't make little mistakes. Play hard, make every point count. If you lose one along the way, okay, but don't give them away easy.
Benson setting up Capo a little farther away from the net than she probably wants. Mesa just working it back over. St. Galais right into Avachuco. Right side, Mesa. Morehouse has the read. Capo blocked at the net. Avachuco, Mesa setting up the middle. Hustling effort. Totman hustling, gets it across. Barris. And that time, Mesa works it in the back. And they now lead 23-20.
And that's a hard point to lose right there. I mean, after all the hustle, the dives, running your body all across the floor for that, that's tough.
Avachuco, Topman, Koppel.
Great swing.
And Tally comes up big, and the Coyotes have life. 23-21 as Clemens on serve, and Hakeem will go in the middle. Can't stress enough, Coyotes need a long service run. You'd love to see them just get 4 points and close it on serve. Of course, Mesa is going to have other ideas. Koppel gets it right back and answers as Topman just has to bump it across. And that is ripped on the outside. A big, powerful spike by Issa Fulau. And now Mesa with set point. And going in on serve is Kylie Pugh from Queen Creek High School, deep in the East Valley. Former Bulldog will serve it up. Topman is there. Benson was trying to go for the quick hitter. Benson keeps it alive. Hakeem. And Mesa anticipating well in the back row. And that is fired up, and that is won by Mesa. Isabel Wagner lighting up that right side. And Mesa takes the second set 25-21. We're even Steven at one apiece. So we kind of dialed up the men's basketball schedule. On the women's side, they're at the Arizona Community College Athletic Conference Jamboree on the 23rd. They'll play Park University Gilbert, their JV squad, and then November 8th, They've got the College of Southern Nevada at home. Followed by the 9th, they'll have Palm Beach State College, Arizona Christian University on the 13th. So basketball season literally right around the corner. Of course, Steve Silsby coaching the men, and a new women's coach, Fletcher Brown, has moved on, and now the women are being led by Matthew Strickland in his first year. Of course, we wish Coach Strickland the best of luck from Englewood, California. Comes to Chandler-Gilbert from Louisiana, where he was the head coach at Louisiana State University, Shreveport for the past 4 seasons. And look at the record, compiled an 80-30 overall record, winning 1 regular season championship and 2 tournament championships, along with 3 NAIA national tournament appearances. Big thing for him, so obviously the resume speaks volumes. The big thing is hitting the recruiting trail and really learning the market really quickly.
Right. And in talking to some of those folks involved in the basketball season upcoming, they're excited for the season. We obviously had a great men's basketball team and women's basketball team last year, and the men went all the way to the championship round of their conference and had a great, tremendous year. And in talking to some of the players and some of those viewing the team, they're excited. They think they've got just as good of a team this year and that they can really play and win and go the distance. So excited for what's coming. Obviously loving the volleyball season here, but excited for basketball as well. And Joe, you mentioned with soccer, right? We just have a tremendous program here at CGCC. They're all playing hard. They're all the coaching and staff, and credit to Russ, athletic director, for building great programs. And it's exciting to see all these programs driving these athletes really playing great games and improving as players.
Absolutely. Chandler-Gilbert, of course. Both teams made the postseason last year, and now back here in the volleyball court, Mesa and Chandler-Gilbert battling for that 4th seed. Even Steven at 1 apiece. Chandler-Gilbert won the first set 25-23. Mesa holding serve in the second set 25-21. And now it comes down to the final 3. And Mesa raised its effort in that second set, and Chandler-Gilbert just not enough gas to pull out that second set victory. And that set was theirs for the taking. They had opportunities. And now they led 19-18. And then Mesa won 7 out of the last 9 points for the victory. So now we get that third set. Who's got the energy, who's got the juice, who could be a little bit more consistent in the serve and receive. And that's really plagued the Chandler-Gilbert team this year, as the serve and receive. And Coach Nelson's been very vocal about that. But his team has played hard. And right now, they have a chance. And that's all you can ask for after 2 sets. Mesa will serve it up. Madden Bingham. Morehouse is there. Right side, St. Calais. And that is out.
That one
for Coach Nelson, you hate to see the attack error right off the bat.
Yeah. And you could tell on that one as it went up, just came off a little shaky off the hands and wasn't quite in the right position for that one to go across.
Right into Morehouse. Tracked down by Benson. St. Calais. Good hustle by Mesa. Blocked at the net. Benson really checking Avachuco. Koppel. And Brindley Barris yet again. Mesa jumping out to a 2-0 lead, and Barris has just been such a force in that middle.
Yeah, Barris and number 2, Wagner, just really unstoppable on the block.
Morehouse, and that eats her up on the hard serve by Madden Bingham. A 3-0 lead, and you got to figure, get into a kind of a dicey start that Jeff Nelson could be burning a timeout here real quick. Can't let Mesa get out to a lead. We've seen matches where the Coyotes fall behind early and they can never recover. Bingham. Topman digs it out well. Right side, Koppel. Kept alive by Chandler-Gilbert for a brief second. And it's a 4-0 Mesa lead. And so far, Coyotes coaching staff looking and assessing. Bingham on a nice run to start this frame for the T-Birds. And that time, looked like Bingham lost her footing as she went up to serve, as Kaya Crafter is going to check in the middle.
You know, that's a tough miss of a serve. Hopefully that gives the Coyotes a little bit of space to feel like, okay, let's regain some of the lost points early on here and get back into it.
And once again, it's Barris in that middle. Barris stepping up. A force of destruction. Callie Pugh showing some excitement on that Mesa bench. McClellan, Koppel blasted across. A lot of answers by Mesa's back row tonight. Crafter in that middle. And a winner on that right side by Isabel Wagner. And Andrew Yamashiro, the assistant coach of Mesa, coming out.
And you've mentioned this already, Joe, but Coyotes really need to be careful in this third match, not to lose steam, not to lose ground from where they've been playing already tonight. Good swing.
Koppel is checked by Avachuko. Worked across. McClemens with a good hustling effort. Avachuko back row, and Avachuko, she hasn't made a lot of attack errors tonight. That was one of few. She has been pretty spot on for Mesa throughout this contest. When we talk about Mesa, you check their roster. Only 5 sophomores, so the future is bright for this team. Coach Harrington has squad going in the right direction. And what is arguably the toughest region in all of Division II in the country.
Well, you talk about Harrington building a program, building a team, and you love to see athletes that have really bought into the program and to that team. And you can tell this Mesa team has bought in. They're hungry, they're excited. They clearly very reciprocative to what the coach is telling them to do, and that's what you like to see.
Coyotes trying to dig themselves out of a 5-point deficit. And it starts with Koppel with a winner. Slicing through a couple trees on the front line. Adjustment, Salazar's back in. Morehouse taking a breather. Koppel, McClemens, Benson, Metcalf, Salazar, Crafter on the floor.
And Joe,
for the Coyotes.
I've really been impressed by some of the gas tank on this Mesa team. When you thought that the ball was lost, they would hustle in there. You got girls running across court to make the save and keep their team in the game. So that's been impressive to watch tonight. That just the energy and the gas tank on this Mesa team.
And as Coach Harrington alluded to, they had their share of injuries. They had to get through some tough times, try to fight through different lineups and so forth. So now they're at full strength as McClemens on that back row could not handle it. Now 9-3. And Jeff Nelson can only shake his head in that after that receiving mistake. And that point drops. Now 10-3.
A little bit of frustration as I think they thought that was going to be out, and that'll be called in.
Tafoya on a nice little service run. Salazar. Tafoya. Left side. McClemens. Salazar goes back row, and that ends a big run. A 4-0 run by Mesa. And the Coyotes desperately need a strong run here by Hakeem. Draw them closer and give them an opportunity. And it starts with Metcalf and St. Calais on the right side.
And this is where the Coyotes really need to take these little wins here, that big block right there, and build on their energy and really get back in this game.
And for the Coyotes, you have to be thankful Brindley Barris is now on the court in that middle.
Mm-hmm.
She is such a strong force, and St. Calais mistimed the jump and gives a point back to Mesa just like that. So the serving run ends quickly.
And I will tell you, Joe, visibly different size in the amount of bench between these two teams. And when you've got injured players, and you're already a short length team as it is, girls get tired. I mean, just players get tired as the game goes on. And so this is where they got to lock in, pull that reserve tank out, and go, go, go.
It's almost like a defense in football, stopping the run all game. They've been great for the first half. All of a sudden, chinks in the armor, and then Najee Harris is ripping off 5, 6, 7-yard runs. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, the Steelers are at Dallas this weekend, and by no means am I a Steelers or Cowboys fans, but you think about a team that loves to run the football and play conservative on defense, even though Justin Fields was tremendous for them last weekend in a loss at Indianapolis. And I just picked up Justin Fields as a backup quarterback in fantasy. I'm a big fan of Justin Fields. I felt his time with Chicago, he was with one of the worst organizations. Offensive coordinators came and went every other year. There was no structure, and now he's with a franchise. The Steelers are one of the gold star franchises in football, and now all of a sudden he's playing tremendous. And that quarterback battle with Russell Wilson looks like it's going to be short-lived if Justin Fields has another good week.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin has said it's open, but the window for Russell Wilson is closing by the second. And Chandler-Gilbert trying to make sure their door of opportunity doesn't close in this third set. And they get the point. 12-7. Morehouse on serve. Koppel, Benson, St. Calais on the front line. Clemens, Topman in the middle. Avachuco just has to bump it over. Topman hustling. Battle up the net. Kept alive by Avachuco. Right side attack. And won by Koppel. Now 12-9.
And Coyotes are starting to clear up some points and shoring up that difference between the two.
Almost a near ace by Morehouse. Morehouse once again on the receiving end. Koppel.
Good swing.
Back row attack and busted through. And a timeout by Mesa. So give the Coyotes a lot of credit. Jeff Nelson, one point, was staring at a 10-3 deficit. And this set was starting to get away from Chandler-Gilbert. And all of a sudden they go on a nice run, and Koppel leads the way, and the work in the middle by Benson and St. Calais added bonus as they've now pulled within 2.
Yeah. And you know what, Joe? Sometimes you got to sit in the fire to really become something new, the refiner's fire. And I think that's what they're doing right there, right? Big deficit in points, and sometimes you got to look at the scoreboard and go, we're gonna pull out this and we're gonna get better. So to their credit, as you said, way to pull ahead and now make it a 2-point game. Now it's all about maintaining and pushing past it.
Coyotes, of course, they're one of several matchups going on tonight. South Mountain is at Pima. Of course, Pima tied atop of the conference at 7-2. Scottsdale in a big matchup against Glendale. And Matt, can't say enough about Lisa Struck's team at Glendale. You saw Scottsdale play. Unfortunately, I wasn't there for that match, but we were both believing that Glendale could be the team to beat in this conference.
Yeah, I mean, both teams impressive. Both teams have talent, but the composure we saw from Glendale in that last game was just so solid. And the ability to stay in the game, locked in, and just consistently, point after point, continue their rampage in their lead. I mean, it's impressive. It's fun to watch. Great coach, well-coached team, and I think they're if not the team to beat, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. So that'll be a fun game.
Now 12-11. Coyotes have pulled within one, and now they have tied it. They have come all the way back from a 10-3 deficit. Wow. Now they've got momentum. And Morehouse leading the charge with this impressive service run. Coyotes have taken 6 out of the last 7 points. And another Coyotes point. Call against Mesa. Now it's 13-12.
And Mesa really hoping they can get the point back, get into that rotation where they get Brinley Barris in the middle and Avachuco on the outside.
McClemens there. Koppel. And Koppel blasted through. 14-12. Now it's Coach Harrington on that floor. Rooting on the team and also has her pulse on the buzzer to call a timeout. Got to wonder if the Coyotes can pull off another point here, if that's going to happen here shortly. Back row attack. And we talked about Brinley Barris off the court for that short period of time. Now she's back on the floor. And Madden Bingham
and Joe,
back on the court, and Kendall Arnett checking out.
It really is amazing what can happen when you have your certain players in key positions, getting the energy on the court, and especially if they're having a great game and really popping off. And Brinley Barris, a prime example of that. Right there.
We talk about Barris, and I really think as good as Avachuco is, and she is really the straw that stirs the drink for Mesa, but Barris is so imperative in this match because she provides the size, the unparalleled size, and she wins because she has that size advantage against the Coyotes in the middle.
And one thing I noticed with Brinley Barris really sets her apart. She gets up high. We've got a lot of girls who get up really high on the net. And I learned this the hard way, Joe. I'm playing my own game of volleyball. When you go up, you got to bend your hands down, and the positioning of your hands on the block makes a huge difference. And Brinley Barris has that down to an art. She puts her hands in the right spot, in the right position to send that ball straight down.
So Mesa now in a 3-0 run to take the lead 15-14. Koppel.
Great move.
Mesa reads it well. They go back the other side. And a tremendous cross court by Fulau to Avachuco. And Jeff Nelson has to burn a timeout. So just like that, all of a sudden, Mesa, they get the timeout. They go on a 4-0 run. And now they are feeling poised to potentially take this third set and grab a 2-1 lead.
And right there, that's really the rotation that is lethal for Mesa right there. Libero in the back row, Barris in the middle, Avachuco on the outside, and you can see they can change the pace of the game really quick.
And we got a little country music blasting over the airwaves here at the Coyote Center. Call it country/pop rock, right? And I'm okay with that. As long as you got a little pop to the country, I'm okay with that. Now, am I going to go to a country music bar or a country music concert tomorrow? No.
I don't know, Joe. I think a cowboy hat might be your vibe. You put on a pair of boots.
The only time I could say, there's a new sheriff in town. His name is Reggie Hammond. Y'all be cool. Eddie Murphy in 48 hours. That's about the only time. So Madden Bingham leading this great service run. Mesa on a 4-0 run to grab a 16-14 lead. This match even at one set apiece. Benson, Koppel. Wow. What about the effort on that side? Brianna Anderson's really been everywhere. Unsung, and once again, rips it out. Avachuco Clemens, great hustling effort. Koppel just has to shoot it across. Now we're seeing both teams. And how about Benson? Reading the court well. Hakeem comes in. Kaya Crafter comes in. Hakeem looked like she was checking in, but Crafter goes to the middle. McClemens on serve. Good serve across. Avachuko's there. And they're going to feed the middle. Barris and Koppel and Morehouse just running into traffic into each other.
And Barris is so good at reading that middle position. You can see there, sometimes she throws down the hammer, brings it down hard, but right there, just a little light touch, throwing the Coyote defense off guard, and positioning they just couldn't get back.
17-15. Koppel, blaster.
Great spot.
Tally's played big, and Coyotes need her to play big. And Metcalf checking in, and they need, of course, Sydney Metcalf to play big as well. Brianna Anderson, once again, a force. And the outside hit by Issa Fulau. 18-16. And a very tough third set. Coyotes trailed 10-3. They actually grabbed a 14-12 lead, and now it's Mesa back on top, 18-16. Pugh on the serve. A little bit of a back row attack.
Great read.
And great placement by Koppel. 18-17. Tally with her high-octane purple shoes. Little push across in that middle, off the twine. Metcalf with the blast, and we're not at 18.
And that was something desperately needed for the Coyotes from Metcalf. A good, powerful swing, bringing it down hard and home. And I think that was needed for her as well.
Koppel. Short-lived.
And that's something we've seen a lot tonight, Joe. Right at these critical moments at the end of the matches, just easy missed serves.
Service game's so important. A good point and setting up your receiving end starts with a good service game. McClemens in that back row. Salazar. And Salazar, the winner. Knotted at 19. Once again, every set has really come down to the final stages. Points in the late teens to the early 20s, and who can take care of business. And Hakeem has been great on serve. See if she can give the Coyotes a boost. And that's a great hard serve. Fulau had to dig it out. Metcalf.
Good swing.
And Metcalf blasts it cross court. 20-19.
And that's really big, Right now, Koppel in the back row doesn't have as many opportunities to be that outside hitter and be dominant during the game. So Metcalf and Salazar stepping up and putting them down is going to be huge.
And that was just a great placement in the middle by Adrian Tafoya. Once again, it's kind of like that Magic Johnson no-look pass, right? To the middle of nowhere. McClemens, good hustling effort. Salazar. Oh, how about Brianna Anderson? That was incredible. Avachuko knocks it to the quadrant. Chandler-Gilbert can't keep it alive. 21-20. Jeff Nelson having a conversation.
Yeah, number 3, Brianna Anderson has just absolutely taken hammer after hammer after hammer from the Coyotes and successfully got her team second, third looks at getting points.
Coyotes got to burn a timeout. After taking a 20-19 lead, it's all of a sudden it's Mesa rolling off the last 3 points. And Matt, you and I can't bring Sexy back, but Justin Timberlake certainly can. And the fans are in the crowd. See a young lady, she's getting her dance on. And it's okay to cut a rug here at the Coyote Center. It's all about cutting loose. Been a long day of the 9 to 5 and listening to the man all day. Beat down your tree. Come here, get your volleyball on, enjoy life, and enjoy the sound system, the theatrics of the Coyote Center, and all the fun and visuals and sound it can provide.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, I think the songs in between the timeouts might be the only relaxation the viewers are going to get, as all 3 games have been so close.
Really have. It's been a battle of wills. Of course, Coyotes took the first set, 25-23. Mesa answered 25-21. Now it's Mesa 3 points away from a third set victory and a 2-1 set lead. Fulau on serve. McClemens. And that's painful right there. Jeff Nelson's talked about the team really struggling on the serve receive, and once again, evident. And they go right back in that direction. Metcalf kept alive by Mesa. Good hustling effort by Arnett. Salazar right into the blocking. Avachuco, McClemens, Koppel. Salazar, a little bump across. Anderson hustling out. Avachuco. And Avachuco with the winner. Now Mesa, set point.
I mean, between Brianna Anderson's hustle and diving for the ball, and Avachuco's absolute dominant powerhouse on the outside, they're a tough team right here at the end.
And they win it on the serve by Fulau. 25-20. Mesa takes a 2-1 lead. We'll take a short timeout for the Coyote Center.
Talk about my week in fantasy. Like back-to-back weeks, highest scoring team.
Are they like
Yeah. I'm watching, and I'm listening, and I'm following She Rice injury, right? And then I'm like, I didn't drop him because it's not, no team blowing out yet, but it's like 5 players. When you lose like She Rice, you're getting 0 out of Volleyball, right? I have 5 players, it's like tanking. It's not having them. But so now, after coming on back-to-back weeks with the high score, now I'm like, I had to reshuffle my team a little bit. Yeah. I'm only 18 leads, so I dropped the same power. So now, we're starting to give Justin Fields a little bit more lead, see downfield, and Pickett's just good in receiver play. He has the ball. And he showed last week. I picked up Fields, I dropped Kyler Murray, I threw Murray on the ball. I scored defense, one of the worst going in that game. I picked up Green Pine, I dropped Secure White from Raiders. That was great last week. I dropped 3 passes. I'm still debating whether to start him on Devontae Wilson or Williams, who plays a Raiders 5 yards of carry, but Devontae Williams with a great hunt, right? Better offense, and right now, Hunt is the main guy. That Steele kid, time and then rest. Even when Edwards comes back, you never know what's going to get from him. Hunt's the better of those guys.
So, Matt, here we go. Must-win third set as I think it's the Fresh Prince, Will Smith, that was blasting over the airwaves. And Mesa starts off with Avachuco, showing her versatility. Koppel right into Anderson. She's been the unsung. And once again, it's Barris in the middle. And, we kind of talk about the kind of like triangle attack of this Mesa team. And Anderson's so good on the digs. You got Barris in the middle and Avachuco on the outside. And right quickly out of the gates, Mesa with a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, those three together proving to be a really lethal force for the Coyotes. And so far, really haven't found a solution around outplaying them and getting around it. So they've continued to make it work, use it. That'll luckily be a good, quick point for the Coyotes and hopefully give them the momentum they need to get in the game.
And that just was barely out of bounds as the point drops in favor of the Coyotes. Benson on serve.
Looks like a small switch up on Coyotes as Marissa Morehouse stepping in as libero.
And we've seen the switch. Marissa now in the libero role. And Marissa doing a great job in that back row. Metcalf try to soft touch it across.
Good up.
Chandler-Gilbert keeps it alive. Avachuco, good hustling effort. Oh. And how about the placement? Madden Bingham.
And
soft spot.
And Coyotes are really going to have to be careful of leaving those open spots available and noticeable to the Mesa team, because Mesa has done a really good job reading that and putting them in those open spots when they're open, available, and obvious.
Kylie Pugh on serve.
Good call.
Salazar checking back in. McClemens checking out. Top on serve. Sage finding that thunder on the outside. Crafter and Metcalf on the front line. And a winner on the outside by Kendall Arnett, the former Gilbert Tiger. Adrian Tafoya, who's really played a solid match and has come up with some key points in that middle.
Good swing.
Metcalf try to crush it across. Avachuco Mesa has really just stepped it up on the hustle end of this match. And Salazar with the blast in the back row. Now can the Coyotes collectively have that kind of energy and effort and execution the rest of the way? Trailing 2-1.
Yeah, Joe, that's one thing I will say. When the Coyotes get those little wins during the game, they got to fuel up off of that, play together, and really let it energize their entire team.
St. Calais wins the point in the middle. We are knotted at 4. And man, we kind of talked about the last two sets. A couple points here and there. Coyotes could have won this in 3, right? Instead, they're in a must-win situation, dire need in this 4th set. Right side, Kendall Arnett, 5-4. Crafter Morehouse coming in.
Give credit to the Mesa team. I'll tell you, each game, their accuracy and precision on the court has just gone a little bit better. And in this match, we're seeing it. They're just finding open holes after open holes and just putting them where the openings are.
As we talked about, as we've gleaned our information of seeing all these teams, the conference tournament, it's just going to be such a war. It's just going to be a battle, and whoever gets into that finals match. And once again, we look at the top 4 teams. Scottsdale, Glendale, Pima, all tied at 7 at 2. Full point drop in the middle. Mesa 6-4, Chandler-Gilbert 4-6. A 6-5 Mesa lead. Throughout the rankings, obviously every win is so important for the national seedings, because I like to think that when it comes to recognition, when you look at teams in the potential finals, and let's say if it's whoever it may be, that let's say if the higher seed wins, and obviously they're ranked, they're going to go to the playoffs. But the team that maybe doesn't have that national ranking that gets to the finals, they should be considered getting an at-large bid because of how good this conference is. Top to bottom. Lisa Struck, the head coach of Glendale, who's done everything and anything in the game and is so respected and valued. When her team won the national title in 2014, as once again, the force by Brinley Barris, Mesa goes on top 7-6. Her team was 500 going into the tournament. And they went on to win the postseason tournament. And she said they were ready for the national tournament because how tough their region was.
Right.
And top to bottom, we're seeing it. And there's not tremendous disparity. It's not like you look at one team, they're just tremendously better. We can say, yeah, they're better maybe on the IQ and execution, as Avachuco rips that. 8-6.
And I think also, Joe, one thing we've seen consistently is anything can happen and anything changes. You get an injury here, athlete drops out there, or just the team chemistry starts to build and go. I don't think we were looking at Glendale earlier in the season as maybe that top contender, but after watching them play, seeing their cohesiveness, and now I think they're on a 5-game streak. They've really taken their team to the top. So anything can happen. These athletes are tremendous athletes, and the coaches too. Some top-tier coaches with a lot of experience.
And talking to Coach Nelson before this match, he said in a conversation with Coach Struck, and she said to him that was their best week of the season and how well they played. And they've been on a tremendous run, playing well. But what happens now really doesn't matter. What happens really in November when the tournament's underway and the matches mean more. And, of course, whoever gets the top seed is going to be hosting the tournament. And you're playing in someone else's gym. And,
exactly.
Of course, there's a comfort level of playing at home. And in some cases, that could play a major factor to a home team that's playing well and has the advantage of the crowd and the comfort of not having to travel that day. And we're knotted at 8. So there's going to be a lot going on down the final stretch of the season. And for the Coyotes, can't stress enough. They win this. They got winnable matches coming up. South Mountain, Phoenix College on the docket. And Barris denied by Benson. And that's a rarity in this one. A 9-8 Coyotes lead. Now, can the Coyotes capitalize? Morehouse has been great on serve, as well as Akeem.
And Morehouse has been one of those athletes that have just been fun to watch over the season. Really improving, and each game, even though the team maybe has taken a few steps back as they try to figure out the pieces from injury, Morehouse has consistently kept getting better, and we've seen that with a lot of the players, but it's been fun to watch Morehouse really improve her game.
Brianna Anderson has just been such a force. Wearing that libero jersey with such pride and determination.
Good spot.
And Benson, little cross-court soft touch. And Mesa calling a timeout. And you know, Matt, with Coach Harrington, she hasn't really pushed the panic button. I've liked all her timeouts. They've really come not like when the team's been trailing by 4 or 5 points. It's been really about just maybe when momentum's starting to shift that she just puts a kibosh on it to try to control the tempo of the game.
Yeah. No, definitely some wisdom there as she's really watching her girls and where their heads are at during the game rather than looking at the score or the stats or reading something like that. She's keeping an eye on the girls and the athletes, which is really where the timeouts come in handy.
And not just in volleyball, but basketball, football. I think it's imperative in basketball where a coach can just really put the imprint on the game just by calling a key timeout when he senses a change in momentum, a change in the team not really executing the game plan or falling into the depths of another team's schematics, that they can control the tempo and kind of regroup the team. And I think that what Harrington did right there was just a moment of letting the team breathe, saying, look, we're up 2-1. We're only down 2. It's all good. Let's get back at it.
Absolutely.
And for Chandler-Gilbert, it's about Marissa Morehouse continuing this great service run.
Great block.
Coyotes coming up big in the middle, but they said net violation against the Coyotes. So now it's 10-9. Avachuco right into Topman. Koppel. Avachuco's there after the partial block. Once again, Mesa has the answer on the blocks at the net. Coyotes put on a block party. And Barris, soft touch over. Even at 10. Just when you think the Coyotes might be building some breathing room, Mesa just takes it up a notch. Clemens. Tally block to the net. Topman just shoots it over. Anderson once again everywhere. Morehouse in the back row. Koppel. Barris with the early celebration. Topman read it well. Cross court. Chandler-Gilbert keeps it alive. Mesa refusing to quit. And Chandler-Gilbert gets the point. Wow. Just tremendous serve and receive on both sides.
And Joe, this is just one of those games where you've got to be locked in 24/7. Both these teams are having rallies that will go on for quite a little while. And so if you're not locked in, if you're not hustling the whole time, someone's going to mess up just a little bit, which is causing the difference.
And a rocket by Fulau that dropped right in front of Marissa Morehouse. Even at 11. Coyotes won the first set, 25-23, lost the second set, 25-21. Lost the third set, 25-20. And trail and must win set number 4, 12-11. Koppel Crafter in that middle. Benson. Oh, and Talley she got high and just ripped that across. And Talley, look, she's got the power, but on that, because we had that play right in front of us, not the vertical. I mean, she can really get up there. You know, she's got probably a good 12 inches of height on that vertical and then some. So she can really sky and add that power. Of course, she has ambitions to play at the next level, and she's going to get her opportunities. 13-12. Alex Johnson once again sitting out a second consecutive match, still recovering from a concussion. She's going to go see the doctor this week. And in her time, that's her 5th concussion. Sage Salazar with the blaster. Now here we go again, Matt. Situation where the Coyotes get up a couple points. Can they capitalize? Can they go on a service run? Can they give themselves a little breathing room? Can't stress enough, Koppel just getting the serve over tremendously huge. Does just that. Avachuka on that back row. And that is ripped long.
And like you mentioned, Joe, this would really be the spot for them to take that lead, get into the game, really give themselves a nice, comfortable gap. And Todd's got a great serve. This is where they could really do it.
Avachuka, by the way, 154 digs coming in, but we've seen how good Brianna Anderson is. Leads the team coming into this match with 382. Crafter.
Good spot.
Good point across the way. 16-12. And the Coyotes get the breathing room. Just what they need. Now, Mesa presses the timeout.
And I'm really liking some of the momentum from number 1, Kia Crafter, putting up that nice little middle over the top, and you know, not a player we often see as much on the court. She's really shining here tonight. Gotten them a couple really quick points, and yeah, just I love to see when players we don't as often see in those positions kind of shine and really step up to the plate.
No question. Crafter played her high school volleyball up in the White Mountains in Sholo. A young lady came into this match, 26 kills, and providing a steady middle for the team. 16-12 as number 12 for Chandler-Gilbert will serve it up. Plenty of fans for Mesa here. Of course, plenty of fans for Chandler-Gilbert here as well. Koppel. Anderson is there. And that is blasted to that right side. Isabel Wagner from American Leadership Academy in Queen Creek. Wagner, 125 kills coming in. A sophomore. Only 1 of 5 on the team. 16-13. Little bump across. In the middle. Morehouse. Salazar. And Salazar with the kill shot. 17-13. Keem coming in to serve it up. She's been a force at the service line with that good top spin. And always getting in the back row. Once again, does just that. Makes Avachuka work. Good block by St. Calais. Anderson setting up that attack. Ball goes against Chandler-Gilbert. 17-14. Now the big thing is limit the damage. Morehouse, good work there. Metcalf, cross court, and gets the point. And caught Mesa out of position. Metcalf right into Anderson. In that middle. Oh, and Morehouse gave her a great effort to try to push that one across. 18-15.
So here's a real question, Joe. Mesa looking like they're maybe losing a little steam. Coyotes taking the lead, but we just see Barris coming into the middle and Avachuco working that outside. So every match we've seen, that rotation comes into place when this tight match, when the Coyotes take the lead, and they seem to tie it right back up. Are we close to that? We're about to see.
A timeout on the floor, and that's a good timeout for Jeff Metcalf. His team up 18-14. Mesa rolls off a couple points, and just how we saw with Coach Harrington a short time ago, kind of regroup the roster. And really, I think the key for Chandler-Gilbert is, and we saw that in the third set, Matt, was the serve and receive, the errors, just not being able to put the ball back in play. And I think that's going to be a topic of discussion here, and get the right personnel out on the court to make sure they can do that.
And what I love about this as well, we talked about earlier, that killer instinct, that ability to close out in the close part of the game. And I think for Coach Nelson, he's really trying to teach that, right? Bring them in this when the momentum's in their favor and help them really know this is where you lock in and close it out.
Anderson on serve. 10 aces coming into this match. Cross court, Salazar. Ooh. And Sage Salazar not lacking power whatsoever. Just a bomb from that left side.
Talk about coming out of a timeout with power. I don't know what Coach Nelson said, but whatever it was, it worked.
Right now for the Coyotes, it's going to really come down to some will.
Uh-oh.
Koppel. And Koppel rips the winner.
It looks like
20-16.
Looks like Marley Avachuco maybe rolled her ankle a little bit or stumbled there at the end with wincing off a little bit of pain. So we're going to take a quick pause as they address it, figure out what's going on. Obviously, we hope that she'll be okay and everything will turn out just fine.
We'll take a short timeout. Avachuco back on the court. Coyotes with a 4-point lead in a must-win fourth set. Ooh. How about the effort by Morehouse in the back row? McClemens bumps it across. Anderson has been such a stallion on the other side. Point against Chandler-Gilbert. 20-17. Coach Yamashiro trying to fire up his team from the sidelines. Coyotes still with a 3-point advantage. Topman back row. Koppel a little on the backside. Anderson digs it out yet again. Avachuco shoots that one wide.
And I'll tell you what, Joe, Anderson has really shown why she's so dominant in the back row on those digs and getting it up. I mean, a ball coming from Tally Koppel, we know the speed and the intensity that she can bring to the game. And, I mean, Anderson basically flat on the floor to get those balls up.
Morehouse.
Serve.
Right into Anderson. and Anderson. And how about Crafter in the middle? Kaya Crafter coming up big. And the Coyotes now 3 points away from pushing this to a 5th set. Marissa been great on the service line tonight. Right into the back row. Another good, tough serve. Just had to be bumped across by Mesa. Crafter in the middle. And Crafter comes up big again. And we're seeing Marissa Morehouse with those good, hard serves with a top spin in the back row, really forcing the back row of Mesa having to work a little harder and not allowing Mesa to get into their offense so easily to set up their pins on these outsides. Coyotes 2 points away from the 4th set victory. Barris out of position. That's not where she wants to be. Koppel, that's where she wants to be. Blasted on the other side, but Chandler-Gilbert has the answer. Koppel. Good work by Madden Bingham, who was there. Morehouse. Oh, kept alive. Topman was just booted over. In that middle, Topman has the answer. Battle in the middle, and Benson wins it. And the Coyotes 1 point away from pushing it to a 5th set. Set point. Wow. Talking about standing up loud and proud on home court. Coyotes' pride shining bright in this 4th set. Morehouse, another good hard serve. Back row attack. Topman's there. Koppel, and Koppel wins it. And we're going to set number 5 as the Coyotes take the 4th set 25-17. And Matt, this one, it was tied at 8. Mesa looked like they were going to potentially take it going tied at 11, but then the Coyotes went up 16-12, 18-15, 20-16, and really end this 4th set strong.
Yeah, I mean, this is fun to watch. It's exciting to see the Coyotes improve each set and get better and better and better, and obviously take a win here in this 4th to push them to a 5 and hopefully close it out and take the win. But, you know, I love Coach Nelson's coaching on this last set, pulling them in, reading the girls' emotions and their composure and locking them in, keeping them going, and it proved out to work well in this set. So we're looking forward to the 5th one. Hopefully they can close it down and really lock it out and get that win here on Coyote Court.
The team's taking a breather. We'll take a breather. You take a breather, but don't breathe too long because the 5th set's coming up.
This one, they're going to be tied like 14 or something. It's going to end at like 18-16 or something.
So, Matt, here we go. Coyotes won the 1st set 25-23, lost the 2nd set 25-21, lost the 3rd set 25-20, and then looked like they were playing for their postseason lives in that fourth set, taking it 25-17. So now the decisive fifth set, first to 15 by 2. So momentum, Coyotes have it. Mesa has shown the ability to win anywhere in this conference. Of course, Chandler-Gilbert won the matchup back on September 9th at Mesa in 5 sets, I should say. Alex Johnson was on the floor for that match, and this resilient Coyotes team really digging deep. Not fully healthy, going through so much adversity, but here they are. Morehouse on serve, and she ended that fourth set just on a tremendous run. Coyotes won the last 5 points, and they start in the middle. Benson has played big. A 1-0 Coyotes lead, and Morehouse just continues her tremendous run. Morehouse, Abachuco in that back row. And Barris, that's a name we've called early and often.
The thing that'll be interesting to see here, Joe, in this last game is I think we've seen pieces come together. They're starting to play really cohesive after some of these injuries. And we've seen a lot of great hustle that we haven't necessarily seen in all the games. Now, can they close it out? Can they finish? And can they take the kill right here in this last match?
Coyotes now up 2-1. Koppel with another big knock on that left side. Tally Benson has played a great match. She's been great in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And Barris has been great in the middle, and Crafter was there. And how about the Coyotes? With a 3-1 lead.
Crafter really having a dominant couple sets here, or a couple matches in the fourth and the fifth.
She's been strong.
And you wouldn't typically think, she's a little shorter. You wouldn't think that she'd be as dominant on the net, on the blocks, but she's really played a great spot there.
Right side. Morehouse is there. Mesa back on defense. And Barris in the middle. So literally with Mesa, you have to hold on for dear life. It's either Barris or Abachuco on the side. And Abachuco in that last set, looked like she got, coming off that fourth set, looked like she got hit in the face with the ball. Looked like she was like feeling her face out as Benson wins that point. But Abachuco is back on the floor, and Chandler-Gilbert with a 4-2 lead. Coach Yamashiro right to our left, rooting the girls on. Salazar back on the court. Koppel on serve. A 4-2 Chandler-Gilbert advantage. Knocked across. Right side. Once again, Crafter is there with Salazar. Brianna Anderson. Metcalf going across the way. And that one was wide left. Four 3. Morehouse is there. And a tough angle right into the net as Benson tried to save it off the twine. Force. Here we go. Getting deeper. It's go time. Oh. And Mesa coming up big, courtesy of Kendall Arnett. Now Mesa on a run. 5-4. Tafoya right into Morehouse. And a good call Mesa gets the call. Make that the call goes against Mesa. Some of their fans didn't like it, but Iolani Motu was over the net. You hear some of the boos in the crowd by the Mesa fans, but it was clearly she was over the net.
Yep.
5-5, fifth set. Hakeem, good hustling effort. Metcalf tries to go across. Avachuco, back row. Set up, left side. Coyotes, Benson in the middle. Koppel, back row attack. And the back row miss it. Coyotes down 6-5. Issa Fulau serving it up. Good hard serve right into Morehouse. Benson, Salazar across the way. And that is long. And Jeff Nelson's got to call a timeout.
You know, Jeff did a really good job in that last match, reading the tempo of his team and bringing them together, getting them set. Now, they had a little bit of a lead in that fourth match, but, you know, this game's no different. This match no different. It's tight. Lock them back in. They clearly have what it takes to play at this temperature of a game and win out. We just saw it in the fourth match, so they need to lock in right here. Good time for Coach Nelson to call a timeout.
A 7-5 Mesa lead. Coyotes jumped out to a 4-2 lead, and Mesa has ripped off 5 out of the last 6 points, and that is where we are. Squads met in September. Coyotes, for the most part, fully healthy back then. They won in 5 sets, and now Mesa is looking to return the favor. Of course, Chandler-Gilbert, this match so critical for their postseason lives. Trailing by 2 games in the standings to Mesa for that 4th and final playoff spot. Salazar, Brianna Anderson, Avachuco across the way. Koppel's there, and that's tough off the net. 8-5. And now they're going to switch sides. Coyotes get some time to regroup, and the Mesa fan base rooting on the team. Coyotes in this 5th set jumped out 3-1, led 4-2. Mesa has taken 6 of the last 7 points. Fulau on serve. Salazar setting up Metcalf. Metcalf, good placement. Now it's about capitalizing on serve. Metcalf has got to get the ball across. Can't be soft, can't be barely over. It's got to really force that back row to back up and not get them in an offense. Anderson does a good job. In that middle, kept alive by Morehouse. Salazar gets it across. Good hustling effort by Fulau. Right side attack, and the winner by Arnett. Arnett, the blaster from the right side. 9-6. Topman checking in. Anderson on serve. Anderson, the unsung hero for Mesa in this match.
Absolutely. Just a beast out there on the court tonight.
In that right side, Salazar kept alive by Mesa. They go right back to Salazar. Anderson, another hustling dig. Avachuco rips the winner. 10-6. Chandler-Gilbert gonna have to dig deep.
I'll tell you, Joe, this energy the Mesa team's bringing when they're up in points, it's intimidating. It's a lot, and they're feeling the wins they're having right here on the court.
Well, Anderson has been really such a neutralizer.
Yeah,
Salazar cannot get it over.
When some of your strongest kills on other defenders would just go plummeting into the court, and Anderson's able to get him up and give her team a second and third chance to play. That's tough. That's hard to watch, and it's it's impressive to watch as a viewer, but it's hard for the Coyote team when some of those, what would typically be a kill, seem to keep the ball, Anderson keeping the ball alive and giving her team a chance to score.
Yeah, she's been tremendous. She's been really the answer for any Coyotes heart attack on the front line. She just comes out of nowhere and gives her team some breathing room. Now Mesa with a 5-point lead. A lot of energy coming from that sidelines, but still it's not over until that final point is dialed up for the victory. Coyotes trailing 11-6. This Mesa team on a 9-2 run. And they've done it just really with Anderson being relentless on the digs and getting it to the front line. Avachuco has played great. Suffered through that 4-set injury, maybe a little bit of a facial injury, maybe got hit by the volleyball in the face. She was touching her face, but just collectively, they've been solid. Of course, Brindley Barris has been such a force in the middle. Anderson, Ryan Topman. Morehouse just has to push it over. They're going to go right back to the middle, and Barris, big and strong. And that was a case, Matt, where the push across by the Coyotes just made it too easy.
Yeah.
It wasn't deep enough to the back row to really force them to have to really set up their setter in a good position. It was like so close and it made it very easy. And once again, Anderson just relentless on another dig. Good hustling effort by Barris. Avachuco keeps it alive. Bulau in the middle. Good work. Morehouse, Salazar. And Brindley Barris again. 13-6. Mesa 2 points away.
Yeah, Barris has been a challenge all night long, has been dominant all night long, and just continues to dominate on the net.
Topman and Morehouse almost collide. Salazar across. Anderson there. In that middle, Barris with the soft touch.
And right there, that's just volleyball IQ. Barris obviously has a strong hit. We just saw in the play before, but does the switch up with a light touch to make the Coyotes jump and work for it when they think it's going to be coming in hot and hard.
Set and match point for Mesa. Topman, Benson, Salazar right into Avachuco, and Anderson keeps it alive. Back row attack, Topman blocked. Coyotes will reset. Salazar kept alive by Mesa. Mesa just on a relentless pursuit to try to seal this one. Koppel, Salazar. Anderson comes out of nowhere. Anderson should have knee pads on because she's been all across his court. No question, she's battered and bruised. Once again, another back row save. And not done yet. Benson and St. Galais on that right side. McClemens on serve.
What a impressive back and forth between these two teams. The hustle, Anderson keeping her team alive time and time again. And the Coyotes coming out successful.
Once again, Anderson finding ways. And that Mesa bench applauding her in a big way. She'll just push it across. Goes deeper in that back row. Gets it deeper in the back row. Koppel. And that time, Anderson. No answers for Koppel, who had fired up a missile.
Coyotes looking like they might be coming back a little bit. Obviously, they have no room for error here. But Anderson, I mean, I don't think there's a rally she won't touch the ball on that last one. Dive to the floor.
Avachuco, and that does it. Mesa comes to the Coyote Center, and they knock off Chandler-Gilbert in 5 sets. A heartbreaker for Chandler-Gilbert. Coyotes won the first set 25-23, lost the second set 25-21, lost the fourth set 25-20, won the fourth set 25-17, and then dropped the fifth set 15-8. So the Coyotes dropped to 8-9, 4-7 in conference play, and Mesa will improve to 7-4, 11-5 overall. And as we check what's next for the Coyotes, and we kind of talked about their schedule. Winnable matchups, of course, but it's easier said than done. You got to still play and win. They play next Wednesday at South Mountain, and Friday the 11th they have Phoenix College right here. And along the way, in these final 7 matches, all the team can do is win and hope that the league and the wars that take place between teams will work in their favor and somehow they can slide into that 4th spot. And Matt, just your final thoughts on this one.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot, Joe. When you lose a player to injury, it's kind of a restart. You're having to figure things out, and granted, the Coyotes don't have a lengthy bench. They don't have a lot to lose as far as players. They just can't give up players. And so it is a little bit of a restart every time they lose an injury or lose a player to injury. But what I saw tonight, great power, great hustle, great energy and work ethic the entire game. I don't think anyone can say that the Coyotes gave up or quit. They played hard the entire time. Mesa, diligent effort, hard hustle. Anderson kept that ball alive so many times. And, I think it just came down to the length of your bench at this point, really, truthfully. They have a bigger team. They had more players to sub in and out. And our girls looked tired near the end because it was a hard-paced, aggressive game. But they fought through it the whole way. Got to give them credit for that. And what a great game to watch nonetheless. Tight all the way, and that's what you want to see in sports is 2 teams battling it out as hard as they can to get the win. We'll continue to see more, I'm sure.
We were treated to a special night of volleyball between 2 really good teams, and the Coyotes showing a lot of heart and effort on their home court as they fall in 5. We appreciate you dialing us up on the Chandler-Gilbert Sports Network for Russ Lewis and all the great athletes here on the campus of Chandler-Gilbert. Of course, this great volleyball team lacking some healthy bodies, but not lacking heart and effort. And they really brought an A effort out here tonight. We appreciate you dialing us up right here on the Chandler-Gilbert Sports Network. And once again, the Coyotes fall in 5. This has been a presentation of Chandler-Gilbert Athletics.